all, my name is Reggie, and today I'll be sharing with you my 2017 reading, writing, and booktubing goals. In 2016, I set a lot of channel and reading related goals, and I achieved some of them, didn't really achieve others. I'm not going to really recap those goals for you, but I'll link that video in the eye if you're interested in it. Let's start with my reading goals. First of all, I'd like to read 75 books. That might seem like a surprise to a lot of you considering I read 107 books in 2016. I want to focus a lot on reading different kinds of books and longer sorts of books and things that I will get into in the other reading goals. But basically, these books that are out of my comfort zone might take me longer to read, and that's okay. And that's why I've lowered my goal quite a bit. Of course, I'd love to read more than that, but really 75 sounds like a substantial goal. One of the things I'd like to accomplish this year is read a lot of the books on my shelf. A lot of these are unread books, and I need to fix that. And I want to read a lot more books out of my comfort zone. Every year we buy Manny's grandma a book for Christmas. It is like her favorite thing. She loves to read, and everyone buys her books for Christmas. And as we were browsing the shelves of Barnes & Noble trying to figure out what we were going to get her, I picked up so many books off the shelf in the adult fiction and the nonfiction sections that I was like, I've really wanted to read this for so long. Why have I not? There's so many books that are just slightly out of my comfort zone, but I still really, really want to read, and I put them off in lieu of the books that are on my shelf or the books that people on BookTube are talking about. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to focus on all these books that I've kind of just pushed to the side for so long. That's going to include really long books. That's going to include a lot of adult fiction. That's going to include a lot of nonfiction. I used to read a ton of nonfiction. My mom actually approached me today about doing a reading challenge with her as well, so I'm going to be participating in that. It is a reading challenge from hannahbrame.com. I don't really know much about it other than my mom sent me a picture of it, and I was like, okay, these all seem like things I probably am going to be reading anyways and will push me a little bit out of my comfort zone, so that seems perfect. There are items on this list like read a nonfiction book, read a book by someone who's younger than you, etc., etc. So I'm really excited to read a lot of books that will let me check off these boxes. I'll go ahead and post a link to that challenge in the description bar in case you're interested. My biggest reading goal this year though is to complete and check mark every box off of the Diversity Bingo 2017 board. If you haven't heard of Diversity Bingo, it is created by a bunch of amazing book community members, and this bingo board has a lot of really amazing and super diverse squares that I'm really interested in dipping my toe into the water and reading different kinds of books, focusing on diversity and own voices books. Another thing I would really like to focus on, it kind of goes into the BookTube and kind of fits into the reading, to read, review, and rate more critically. I can't tell you the amount of times I read a book and I'm like, I'm not sure what to rate that. Maybe I'll rate it a 3. Maybe I'll rate it a 4. And almost every time I end up bumping it down. So I'm challenging myself this year to go with what I actually think and not be afraid of rating a book low. And if I need to, just not rating it at all and letting it sit and figuring out what I want to rate it, or maybe even opening myself up to the possibility of not rating a book at all. I want to review every book I read on Goodreads, whether that's just a couple of sentences, whether that's a full-blown huge review. It doesn't really matter to me, I just want to review it. I think that's really important to me to look back and think about why I rated a book the way I did, and it also engages my Goodreads friends a lot more, which is something I really have neglected recently. Going along with that is I would like to review more on this channel. I made great strides on doing that in 2016, but I still think I could do better. There have been a lot of books that I've wanted to review and then I was like, I'm really behind on reviews. That one can go, that one can go, I'll review that one. And I don't want to do that. If I want to review a book, I should be reviewing it, so I want to catch up and then not fall behind again. Another thing I would like to do is to just step up my editing game. This was actually one of my resolutions for 2016, and I did really well for a bit there, and then I just kind of fell off, and I've been recently inspired to up my editing game again, so I'm gonna try to do that. I just need to take my time on each video. I have so many ideas for videos I want to put up that sometimes I'm like, I need to get this one up and then get that one up and just keep going, and I don't spend as much time editing each video, and I don't spend as much time doing CCs on every video, which is closed captioning if you don't know, but I don't close caption every video. I'm very inconsistent on what I do CC, so I want to take more time individually with each video. I love my content. I don't think there's anything wrong with my content, but I can make it better, and I'm mainly doing that by slowing down. So taking some more time to edit, making sure I CC every video. That's something very important to me, and it pains me a lot to think that I don't do it for every video. as you guys know, I participated in NaNoWriMo and wrote a book and wrote like a piece of fiction for the first time. So I want to edit my book. First round of editing is just kind of piecing things together. I have a lot of pieces of the story that just kind of fell off at the end, and I've decided I don't even want to incorporate, so a lot of it is taking things out, making sure things make sense and flow. And so I also want to participate in Camp NaNoWriMo, which happens in like the spring or summer, I believe. So by that time I want to decide, go through my edits and figure out if I either want to rewrite that book, which I'm leaning towards currently, rewriting it so that it flows better, and now that I've put everything out there and understand how I want the story to go, kind of fix it just by rewriting it. I feel like that might be easier. Or figure it out if I want to write in a completely new project. And then do something with those projects more than just writing and editing them. Figure out if I want to publish them and query or just try to do something with them. Figure out what I want my next steps to be. Those next steps might not come this year. They might not come until next year, but I really want to just write more and edit more and figure out what I'm doing more, because this is my first time doing this. And then my other writing goal is to write every day. I don't necessarily want to write my story every day, especially while I'm in the editing stages. I don't mind if I'm writing like a poem or if I'm writing in my journal, which is most likely, but I just want to make sure I'm consistently writing every day and making it a priority in my life. Those are all my goals for 2017. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you should give it a thumbs up. You should also subscribe, and you should comment down below. Let me know if you and I share any goals, or if not, tell me what one of your goals for the upcoming year is. And that's all for today, so I'll see you in another video. Bye!